coming in from New York, Brooklyn, New York. And, it's a cold day today, cold day yesterday, but we are going to bring a lot of heat today in this conversation of mask off, how to lead by example without perfection. And I'm so excited to be here with every single one of you, whether you're streaming again through Facebook or through Zoom. It's going to be an amazing, amazing lead up from part one's discussion on December 17th. And today we just had to come back. We just had to come back and do a part two because there's so much to unmask and uncover with these situations and everything that we're going through and what people are really leading up. And I'm just so excited to offer that today. Wow. Good. Great Thursday, Kings and Queens.
Morning, peace and blessing, family.
Great rising, Adam. So happy to have you here. So happy to have you here. Good morning. Great rising, Sahu Speed.
Hey, lady. Hey, lady. Woo-woo.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together.
Great rising, everyone. So great to see each and every one of your faces, whether you're tuning in from Facebook or anywhere that you are, whether you're in your home, whether you're somewhere comfortable and nice and cozy. I'm so happy to have you guys here this morning. And, I'm really excited because today we really get to experience part two of Mask Off, how to lead by example without perfection. And just to give everyone a debrief on what just to give everybody a debrief on what we discussed in part one, it was really amazing because we got to talk about, shedding our childhood insecurities. We got to really unmask so many different areas of our life where we feel like we're holding ourselves back. We got to experience something called imposter syndrome, really uncovering where perfectionism comes from and how we're able to really tackle that word and redirect it into something that fits our life and our lifestyle. And so much to the point in part one, I mean, it was so immersive and so descriptive in terms of everyone's experiences and what we shared. We didn't even get to really dive into the masks that we wear on our faces now, right? Like the literal term of us wearing this identity on our face that has become the new norm, so much to the point that we're not even able to see almost half of our face, which is interesting and amazing. And that's what I want to get into. So we can actually go on head to the first slide. And I want to share with you all what I think is really important to really note. So mask off, how to lead by example without perfection. Okay, so we're wearing masks, okay? Wearing masks has become the new norm, but what is it doing to us internally? what is it really doing to us internally? Let's talk about it. So you can, whether you have a journal with you, whether you want to close your eyes and just really think and go into your thought process about how you feel about wearing a mask. What, we're approaching a year. And for some of us, we're like, wow, like, has it really been a year? Has it become it's become the norm for so many of us. So let's talk about it. I want us to take 2 to 3 minutes to write what changes you've noticed since having to wear a physical mask. And by changes, I mean, it could be changes in behavior, when you're walking down the street or walking towards your car or interacting with people in public. What changes have you noticed since having to wear a physical mask? And while folks you can type it also in the chat if you're streaming from Zoom. I'm going to share some of the changes that I've experienced since wearing a mask, being, outside and being in society. It's a lot harder to communicate with people in a comfortable manner. And my body language has even changed to the point where, we're socially distanced, right? Like the whole 6 feet apart. But it's also like you don't want to get too close. And then body language also sends out signals of like, you don't want to get too close, and you also don't want people to feel like you're in their personal space. Personal space has now been questioned. And so Adam says wow, that is powerful, Adam. Wearing a mask is like wearing a facial handcuff. That is interesting. And I can relate to that 110%. Is there anyone else that feels like they're ready to share? You can share from, doesn't have to be perfect. It's just something that I want to hear and experience from people. I know for myself, I've also experienced how people will purposely cross the street or cross, when they're so many yards apart, they'll cross the street, or they'll, if they open a door for me and I say, oh, thank you, because I want to be polite, they don't say thank you back. They just don't want to speak at all. That's something that I've also experienced. You feel suffocated. Teresa says she feels suffocated. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's already like difficult to breathe in certain situations, whether you're in a highly polluted area or you're in a closed space. If you're still working in an office, we already feel very bombarded with so much energy, and now we have to cover up. Part of what really helps us express ourselves, right? So we can move over to the next slide. But I love the sharing so far. It's a handicap to human contact. Absolutely. We're going to dive into that, Cheryl. Overwhelming. So facial expression is worth 55% of our nonverbal communication. Okay, so nonverbal being, a lot of it being also body language takes up that other percentage of our expression and how we engage ourselves. And then I just want to go to the chat real quick because I see that there's some people saying, and I don't want to miss. So Louise says, I used to look at people's eyes to figure out if I know them. After a few times of it being the wrong person, stop trying to figure it out if I know them and keep it moving. Exactly. Absolutely, Louise. I have the same experience. You wouldn't know it, but it's like I go to the food co-op and I go to certain areas and grocery stores that I'm very familiar with. And I have to look at people in the eye. There have been people that I've completely disregarded that I know, but simply off the fact that I cannot see half their face. And vice versa. I'll notice somebody, but they don't notice me. So they're like, who are you? Who's this person talking to me? Right. So it allows us, so to Louise's point, it almost takes away our ability to trust ourselves and like, I know this energy, I know this person, I know this. It's almost making us question things we don't have to question anymore. If I may offer that up to you, Louise. That's what I'm getting from what you're saying. Pretty amazing. Okay, so Charmaine, wearing a mask, let me see. Wearing a mask is a pain in the ass, but in saying that, I look for masks that are beautiful to express how I feel. Yes, I love that too. There's certain masks where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wear my regular black mask because it just goes with every outfit that I have. It's definitely become a part of our wardrobe. It's almost as important as putting on our pants in the morning at this point. It's almost as important as putting on a shirt, right? And then we want to kind of dive into what that has been, what that's really been doing over the past 10 months, 10, 11 months, right? So facial expression is worth 55% of our nonverbal communication. But how much of our face have we really been using since this new way of living? How many people, and I just want to see by a show of hands in the Zoom, and even on Facebook, you guys can also chime in and participate with this. And you could just raise your hand and say, how many people actually smile underneath their mask? If someone says a funny joke, or if someone says something interesting, or what if you frown? Do people frown? Are you still using your expressions? Otherwise, it doesn't have to be a smile. Are you still using your expressions outside your mask? Sometimes I find it interesting because I think I can walk through my whole entire day, sometimes, not all the time, but subconsciously not recognizing that I haven't even used these muscles in my face, like at all. It's just like very like a neutral kind of thing that's happening, right? And I think that comes with who you're comfortable with, and like the interactions that you have around your family. Maybe if it's a close relative, you can kind of laugh and and do the normal facial expressions what you do. But otherwise, we're outside and we're just kind of going with the flow of how our face normally moves. So let me just check in with the chat here. I forget that I have to be extra and then I get angry at the situation. Kinyofu, would you mind just explaining, and you can unmute yourself, what you mean by that? Because I want to make sure that I gain clarity and that I understand what you're saying.
So if I'm interacting with someone on a regular basis, then I will smile, and I'll have a little essence of a smile or some reaction in my face that I'm usually not paying attention to. With the mask on, I'm realizing after the fact, like seconds after the fact, that maybe they didn't see my little expression. And so I would need to exaggerate. So just remembering that I have to exaggerate so they get it, or move my head or body, And so that whole extraness is what's annoying.
Absolutely. I understand that. I can see where you're going with that, and where that can be frustrating. Something that, because I'm a holistic health coach, I'm a dancer, author, and as a performer, and this is the example that I take from Kinyofu's example, just explaining this like over exaggeration of your expression because you feel like no one can see it anyway. When I'm on stage, which hasn't been in like 10, 11 months because everything that's been going on, but when I'm on a stage, the first thing the director says is that when you're on a stage and you're trying to fill up an audience and you want to make sure that every single one in that audience feels your expression, hears your emotion, you have to be so big with your smile and so big with your anger and so big with your frustration that it's not enough to just do a simple frown and expect thousands of people to be able to see that. You have to be so big and expressive with it, right? So I feel like having this mask on has kind of allowed me to have to utilize those aspects too. So it's interesting that you bring that up, Kinyofu, but I'm sure that there's a lot of frustration coming out of it from a lot of other folks too. Let me see. Louise says, let me just scroll and just make sure I'm not, okay. Charmaine says, having to set a physical boundary helps me set a real boundary for people who I allowed into my space that didn't deserve it. Absolutely. Oh yeah, that's one that we can really dive into as well, right? Like having a mask has been a shield of protection, if you will. It's been a shield of protection. Absolutely. Jacqueline says, I do. Teresa, yes. I forget that I have to be extra. Okay, I still do. I still make expressions and feel that they are felt even if not seen. Great. Yeah, and what we'll also find, family, is that even when we are even though we have this mask on, our body language allows that smile to come out anyway, because it's so a part of us, or that frown or that frustration or that anger, right? So there are some people that find that the mask has absolutely done nothing to their facial expressions, and that's okay. But there are also going to be participants on here that feel like they've been completely stifled, which is what I'm also experiencing and what I'm hearing in the comment box. Afua says, I still cover my mouth when I yawn with my mask on. Oh, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting. You know, I don't cover my mouth when I yawn, and I assume that people can't see it anyway, but my eyes tend to squint and water, and I'm like, oh, they probably saw that, because that's what happens when I yawn too, which is interesting. It's great to keep my mouth closed. Oh, wait, I missed a fuis. It jumps. Let me see. We're just gonna see a few more comments here. Okay, Louise says the funniest thing is some people can't hear with a mask on. I've seen people move their mask to hear someone else. Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting too, because it's kind of like the heightened senses. When you take one sense away, you expect that all the other senses heighten. That's I mean, I think that's what I would experience if we, you know, I would relate it to if we're wearing the mask. It's not that we're taking a sense away, but we're able to kind of uncover one. That's an interesting concept. I use my eyes more to communicate. We're gonna get ready. We're gonna get into an exercise that's actually going to, I think, open up some dialogue. Kamala Harris's eyes was sparkled, so that made me start being aware to smile more. Yeah, it's interesting how people can smile. That's what they call it in the modeling world. You can smile with your eyes and make different expressions with your eyes. So we can actually open up the slide, but this is all very, very interesting, family, and I'm super excited to just continue to dive in. Okay, so we're going to get into a complete activity. I am going to make the assumption, and let me know if I'm incorrect, that the majority of us are home right now. We're in the comfort of our home. We don't have to wear a mask. And this is an activity that I find to be extremely fun. So just to give you a background, it is called Act As If. It is a theater it is a theater activity exercise. However, it is a really great exercise to warm people up, to open up not only your chakras, but to really open up your comfort around communication, period. So yes, it comes from the theater realm, but I also feel like it is a great activity to do when you feel like you are not in tap and in tune with your emotions. And we're going to kind of come back to this, circle this back around into how it connects to leadership, which is really what we're going to be diving into today, and unmasking how to become, or how to increase your level of leadership this year in 2021. Okay, so the activity is called Act As If. Okay, so if you can come up on screen, if you can show your video, it makes it more fun, or makes it, you know, more interesting and more engaging to be able to see everybody's faces. I'm going to say a scenario, and I just want you to change your face based on the scenario that you experience. And we're going to use our mouths, we're going to use our faces, and try to express it as widely and as happy as you can. And what you're going to also find, family, is that someone's expression might be very different from yours based on their experience with that scenario. Okay, so for example, if I say, okay, let's act as if, and usually what I would do is I would be in an open dance space, and my participants, or my dancers can my students can walk around. And as they're walking around in their neutral position, so if you can walk around, family, you can, or you can just sit in a position where I am, is completely fine. But what they would do is we'd walk in a neutral, kind of a neutral floor, neutral walk. And all of a sudden I bring a scenario in the air, and their walk changes and their face changes, right? So this is what we're going to do now in our seated position. But if you have area and space to walk around, you can do that too. Okay, so we're on our neutral face. All right. And I'm going to say, act as if, or smile, you know, or express as if you're running late to work. Okay, I'm going to go to my neutral face. All right. Act as if you just won the Mega Million. Yes, yes, yes. And you'll find I'm not speaking purposely, because I want to be able to use my face to enjoy my excitement and to enjoy my expression, right? So, okay, neutral face. Act as if you're at your high school locker and your longtime crush just came up and asked you on a date. Neutral face. Act as if your best friend just told you the funniest joke ever. Neutral face. It's hard to get out of for me, it's hard to get out of neutral face when I'm laughing. Okay, so act as if you just lost a loved one. Could be anyone, could be a dog, could be a person. Neutral face. Okay, we're gonna do one more. Act as if you just found a $20 bill on the floor. Neutral face. Okay, so I want to hear from some. Let me check the chat. Haven't done that in a little bit. I want to hear from some of our community, just what that felt like to like use your face, hear the scenarios, not know what was coming next, and being able to just use your face in this way. Because for some of us, we haven't been able to really express this way in quite some time. So I just want to kind of hear, and you can unmute yourselves. Feel free to use the chat.
Niara, no one is unmuted yet or raising their hand. So would you like me to select someone for you?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for offering that up.
Great, great. Let's select, if you're willing, Theodora Cross and then Nadine B.
Okay.
Good morning, Grand Risings.
Grand Rising.
Oh, I thought that was fun. To go into the different areas and the different facial expressions. I enjoyed it. And you're right, you don't do that as often, but for me, it was good.
Amazing. Yeah, I always, it's such a good time. And what's interesting is that every time I do this activity or every time I do this, it's a warm up just to get everyone comfortable in the space, comfortable in the room, honoring each other's facial expressions, because not everybody is the same. You know, I had a student when I say, you know, act as if you're running late to school. Some kids love school. So they're like, they're booking it. Like, I need to get to school. And then some people are like, well, I'm going to drag because I actually don't want to go to school, you know? So it's interesting. And it's fun because you really, as you said, because you really get to see how people live their lives and how they walk through their different emotions and experiences every single day. So that's really, really great. Right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And then
hello everyone. For me, it was a fun exercise for early in the morning. And then I was also thinking that a lot of the times my conversations are with my facial expressions. So, but it was fun.
Fun. I love that. I'm sorry, is this Nadine speaking?
Yes.
Oh, Nadine, pleasure to meet you. Yes, yeah. It's interesting because I think in some experiences I've seen, I'm really close with people that really use their facial expressions, Nadine, like so much when they talk. And then there are some people that don't have that ability. And I always think that it's such a gift, Nadine. It's a good gift that you have to be able to express yourself so eloquently and fluently with your face as well as with your words. So that's really powerful. Really powerful. I'm just going to read some of the responses we have in the chat here. So let's see. Great things raise my vibration. I felt the emotion of each scenario. Louise says, that was so fun. I'm so happy that you found it fun. Folks' learning styles are stifled. Sahu Speed, would you mind unmuting and sharing just so that I can gain more clarity to your experience?
Um, hey, girlfriend.
Hey,
Hey.
excited for my appointment today.
All right, girl. All right, second touch. So, greetings, everyone. Um, so two things. So there was, so that hold it. Someone's trying to call me, so I don't know if you can see.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, so let's I'm gonna give Sahu Speed a
Um,
moment.
ex- yes, hi, this is Teresa. Can I say something?
Of course, Teresa, go right ahead.
What happened with me is that I enjoyed all of them, but when you got to about the death, a part of me I was sad, but I couldn't stay sad because today's like actually the my mother's birthday. My mother passed, and so a part of me I wanted to be sad, but I couldn't. I mean, I felt sad a little bit, but then the rest of the, all the other stuff that I did, it just took me out of that space of being sad. So that was a good experience for me because I didn't stay sad about my mother being lost. So by me doing everything before that, it just changes my whole atmosphere and brought me right back out. Okay, Teresa, like get back in there with everybody. It's like don't let this thing, don't let your mother's the death and your mother's birthday just take you out of the beauty of what's trying to happen. And I just felt so good about that. That just made me feel good that I didn't, want to remain. I couldn't stay. I couldn't remain sad like I, normally would have if I would have thought about it at another time. So thank you very, very much, young lady.
First off, thank you, Teresa, for sharing your experience with us. Thank you for just offering that share because it's interesting too because when I when I do this activity or when I do this warm up with folks, you'll also find, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong, what your experience was that you went from a sad state to then that trend, that energy, that same sad energy, then transitioning over into gratitude and to feeling thankful and to feeling really positive about the life that your mother lived and the experience that you were able to have with her. And then that slowly morphs from this uh, uh, static energy, right, into something that can be really powerful and that you can really move throughout the entire day and for honestly the rest of your life. That's something that you
Mhm.
can carry with you. That's an energy that is movable. Um, yeah, so I'm really, really thankful for you sharing that with us. And that was something that
And
I also had to um come to grips with my father's passing as well. So I am with you 110% of the way. And I understand that process, how those feelings can evolve and really grow with us over time.
So whose speed is
So,
yeah.
us?
okay. So Sahu Speed, yep, you can continue on.
Great. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Um, so multiple intelligence is something that I'm really passionate about. And wearing of the mask, there was two things when you had mentioned it. Some people will pull the mask down to hear. Like some people are hearing in terms of their learning style. Some people are just very, very verbal. And it's just it's like they're trying to get into this. It's like almost like a part of them has been lost and they're trying to regain that back. So you can't, they might be feeling, well, I'm an auditory person, but they feel like their ears are being masked too. So they can't really hear because they have, it goes over the ear like this. And so they're pulling it down. They want to hear you and verbally they might be a verbal person. They just are used to speaking everything out. So it's like just their bodies just naturally, they're trying to really get into the conversation. And the mask it's like it's a mask. It's masking off their intention to really be with people. That's what I mean by in terms of the multiple intelligence. They're trying to use their other senses of learning to really get to the person and that they're speaking with. Yeah. And I love the other exercise. It was absolutely fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I totally understand and I connect with what it is that you're saying. uh, I speak from an educator standpoint and a holistic health coach standpoint, in that people have so many different multiple intelligences. And, wearing this mask has really, either it's hindered people's intelligences as we were just communicating and speaking about, or it's also allowed other people to really tap into intelligences they didn't know they had, which is really an interesting standpoint, right? And it's like this whole pandemic, this whole entire time, there you got half of the society still working in office spaces, and then you have people working from home. And it's interesting how people have been able to really develop different ways of understanding themselves and taking this time, because we some of us do have time to be home and to really tap into these other intelligences and spaces. So it's really interesting that you bring that point up, because that is something that I feel like is a hindrance, especially having the mask over the ears. It can be very stifling for many folks. I'm just going to chime in the chat here before we move on to the slides. So let me see. Terry says, I enjoyed smiling with others and seeing smiles. Very uplifting. Yes. When is the last time we've seen a smile, right? Like, besides being in the comfort of our homes and being around the people that we've been around for the past 11 months, like, when is the last time we've seen a really beautiful smile? So that definitely felt great too. My facial expressions tell you what I'm feeling. It can get me in trouble sometimes, Charmaine. Yes. And do you find that to be like a safe haven for you right now? Or is it just something that you feel like you kind of miss, being able to like get in trouble in that way with your facial expressions?
Do I say that? Can you repeat the question
Of
again?
course. Yeah. Do you find that that's something that you miss, like using your facial expressions on people so that you can get in trouble? Or is this something that it's like a safe haven for you now, where it's like, oh, thank goodness, like I don't have to show my face and what it's saying right now?
When I wear the mask, it's a safe haven for me, because I'm very expressive with my face. And so what I'm thinking, you see it. If I'm interacting with someone, you see my facial expression with them pleased or not. So the mask for me is protection, because my face does get me into a lot of trouble.
Okay. Yeah, I can totally relate. I relate to it. I relate to it 110%. Let's see. This happens to me when I do not have my glasses on. I cannot hear as well. Very interesting, Terry. How the connection between your auditory and visual is all connected. Kathy says, what Teresa said reminded me of what Anthony Robbins teaches. Is that Tony Robbins? I'm gonna ask. He says that when you get very depressed, okay, Kathy is saying yes, you unconsciously or consciously in some cases do physical things in preparation. Wow. Yes, absolutely. Some people's shoulders, I already have so much to say. Some people's shoulders slump, some slouch, and we're going to get into this, family. We're going to get into this. We're going to get into all these confidence postures. Others might wring their hands. So what Teresa said is a confirmation of what practice of doing something physical will take you out of a negative mindset, not just aerobic activity, but something small. Okay, so Kathy, I want you to unmute and just share with us just to kind of connect and expand upon what it is that you said, because I think what you said was really powerful.
Well, I mean, Teresa said it in a nutshell, really, but you don't realize it until someone points it out or someone teaches you that when you become depressed, when you just start to get into that negative mindset and listen to the committee in your head, you also do things to prepare yourself for that physical things. So instead of standing up straight, all of a sudden you might do that, or someone, they start playing with their hands, or someone's, legs might tap or something like that. But someone might like close up by crossing their legs, or like putting their hands around themselves, and we don't realize that we're doing things in preparation, and it's habits. It's a lot of habits, and by simply doing something to bring yourself out, and it doesn't have to be like, there are a lot of people exercise to feel better. Endorphins are released, and I'm sure you notice that as a dancer in profession, you notice yourself, those endorphins coming out. But it doesn't have to be something that grand. It can simply be straightening of the back, standing up a little taller. It can simply be something to shock yourself out of it, like doing that all of a sudden to like jolt yourself out of it, to retrain and reconnect those synapses in a different way. And what Teresa said is very, is very true, that losing a mother, that's a major thing. That's a huge thing. So to be in that mindset, and I too, you said you lost your father, I lost my father as well. And if I'm thinking about that, my eyes cast down. I don't look straight anymore. Like, I find myself like looking at the ground. And if I simply, without moving anything else, choose to look up, I'm taking myself out of that mindset. And that's a huge realization, that we can control something so major by doing something so small.
Wow, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kathy, for sharing
Wow.
that. It reminds me of, there's something else that Tony Robbins says where he, and I see a lot of performers do this too, because sometimes we get psyched out, like having to be on stage in front of all these people, and then your nerves, and you're like, do I even remember the steps? Do I even remember what I want to say? So even if you're not a performer, if you're in a space where you've had to facilitate, I'm facilitating right now. I had nerves 5 minutes before we went live to Facebook. And, I expressed this with my wake up community, and I let out, and I did an exercise where I just breathed. I take a deep, deep breath in, and you exhale. And Tony Robbins says something that performers do too, to kind of psych ourselves out of that, like that mental state of not feeling ready for something. We pat our thighs really, really big, really big. And then we even ride it up towards our ribs if we can. We ride it up towards our ribs to get that energy really grounded and centered and strong. Take a deep breath and push all that out. Push that powerful, push that magnifying, push that, illuminating energy out, because that's the energy that you want to bring to your audience, or to your clients, or your students, depending upon what environment you're in. So, Kathy, that was really valuable what you shared. And I think that a lot of people can really benefit from what it is that you've expressed, what Teresa expressed, and what so many in our community have already expressed. These hacks are really, and I call them hacks because it doesn't take like this momentous switch in your life to implement. It takes 5 seconds to just wake up your energy, right? Just like pat your thighs, pat your rib cage, and just really get that sense of urgency, and turn that nervousness into like an adrenaline that can drive you to your success. So that's amazing. We can actually move on into the slides. Yes, that was absolutely a beautiful share. Okay, so what I want to get into next is, in order to lead others, you must first lead yourself. So the reason why, I had us do this activity, the act as if, and the reason why I wanted to really just understand, just where we are in our world in terms of, wearing this mask and how we're showing up. It then leads us to the question of how we are showing up first for ourselves before we show up for the world and for, everybody else. And the last time we were here on, for this presentation, we shared that in order, again, this whole concept of, in order to unmask and help others see the mask that they have on, both figuratively and literally, you first have to identify and see where your masks are. So the last time we were here, we peeled that onion of, the mask of fear, or the mask of perfection, right? And when we left, there was some there were some offerings or some hacks that we shared in terms of just how to raise your frequency and raise your vibration. So I'm going to read it again. In order to lead others, you must first lead yourself. And in what ways are you making sure you show up for yourself every day to raise your frequency? So this is also something that you can either write out, we can take a moment, and then we can also just put it in the chat. What are some things that you do every day to show up for yourself, to then lead yourself. And the reason why, and in some, there might be other opinions, and I'm open to hearing those opinions, that you don't necessarily have to lead yourself first in order to lead others. The reason why I have this statement here is because within my experience, and uh, uh, what I've also heard from many others, is that you get to the point where you're pouring from an empty cup a lot of times, where it's like you're trying to do so much for everybody else and you're trying to be there for everybody else, but you first haven't been there for yourself yet, in that leadership position of like, okay, if I wake up in the morning and I'm telling everybody else to take time for themselves and meditate, or take deep breaths in, but I'm not doing it, then I'm going to get frustrated, because I'm telling everybody else to do it, but then I'm not doing it for myself. And then it becomes like this gambit of like, how can I actually begin to raise my frequency and show up better in the world. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the chat here and see what we've been saying. Okay, beautiful share. Urgency and excitement. I was told last night that I do not have a poker face at all. I have been told that my facial expressions or body language can communicate on its own or not be aligned to, I may be verbally expressing. I have learned to try to be more aware. Doing the exercise and being conscious put me back into a childlike space, though, in addition to the fun. Absolutely, Nadine. It is a childlike space. And one thing that I can share in our childlike space, and let me know if this is an agreement, or if you want to, chime in and include in this. But as a child, we have no filter. We have no filter as a child. We don't, for most part, we don't really have a lot of limitations. We might learn certain things, as we go along, and that boosts our confidence or decrease our confidence. But for the most part, if we're always in a learning state as a child, you feel confident moving forward with whatever you got. Right. And if that's like, oh, my mom is making peas tonight and I'm not a fan of peas, so I'm going to frown because I'm like, I really don't want these peas. That is what you're going to express, and you're not going to be apologetic about it. And a lot of times, given the environment, sometimes I think we do stifle ourselves when it comes to how we really want to express. And we've learned as adults how to appropriately express to someone, where I'm like, okay, I'm not a huge fan of peas, but I'm grateful that you made this for me, right? But you're not really like that excited about it. So I like that Nadine was really put it in the chat there, that it really brought her back into that child state, because in that child state, there really is no cap to like how you can express yourself until someone tells you that it's wrong, to like, oh, it's rude to go to someone else's house and tell them that you didn't like the food that that was offered. Whereas now it's like, okay, we got that filter on, where it's like, we're gonna eat it as best as we can, and we're gonna be grateful. So childlike state is fun, and it's without a filter. Okay, I show up for myself. So Louise says, I show up for myself by praying and meditating to stay calm in stressful situations. I am mindful if extra rest is needed. Kathy says, I say thank you out loud. I start thanking God for everything and find that I get myself revved up and excited, much like your thigh drumming exercise. Love that. My body gets flooded with such love and gratitude that the sentiment lasts for quite a while, and I find myself thanking God for things all day. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And what I found, Kathy, too, to your point, is that the more you do it, like even if you just wake up one day and say one thing you're grateful for, the more stuff you end up finding out that you're grateful for. An abundance hack. That's an abundance hack. It's like the more it's kind of like that theory where they say, oh, how does the theory go? When it's like, if you're only thinking about a red car because that's like the new car that you want, all of a sudden you walk outside and the only thing you start seeing are red cars. It's the same with abundance. It works the same way in manifestation. It's like the more you bring out what you're grateful for and what you're thankful for, the more all of that will start to like reveal itself, and you start to reveal it, right, in your life. And it's exciting and it's fun because you just walk throughout your day like just seeing all of this amazing, beautiful things happening. So it's pretty cool. Let's see, Kathy, I say thank you throughout my, Terry says, I say thank you throughout my day. Nadine, I start giving thanks and just being in a state of gratitude for everything. I trust it all will divinely flow. Absolutely. So beautiful, Kathy. It's a beautiful state of mind. I love that everyone is really bigging up everyone else's gratitude and what they do in the morning. It's amazing because we're learning from each other, family. Like I'm offering up the presentation, but we're all learning from one another. And this is what I absolutely love about the Wake Up Community Space, is because we all get to be each other's listeners and each other's soundboards, if you will, right? So it's just an amazing, amazing thing. I read affirmations and pray, deep breathing and tapping. Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Okay, so let's move on to the slide. Just so that I'm aware of time, I recognize that we're almost about 10 minutes to 8, and I want to make sure that we get to some of the meat and potatoes of the conversation. And what areas of your life do you lead others currently? Let's talk about that. So I literally just put 3 bullet points because I know that there's going to be a plethora of other spaces in which we find leadership, but these were the most like in your face understanding of like, this is where I lead. So we have parenting. If you're a teacher, you're, teacher to student, there's like a leadership role that's happening there. There's ability there in a workplace. I also want to offer up that you're leading as a student too, because there's other students in the classroom that are also looking at you as a guidance, like a same age, same level kind of experience, but you're also learning from each other. Yeah. So in what areas of your life do you lead others currently? Let's see. Okay, so Adam says he cleans the house by, and that's how he takes time for himself. Absolutely. Expressions of thanks and gratitude throughout my day. Parenting as a school nurse. Parenting and as a school nurse. And this is from Facebook. Okay, Michelle, I have been consistent with meditation and also realized that in order to stay with a healthy mind, I must also work out. Michelle, I relate to that so much. Thank you so much for sharing that offer and offering that up to us today, because I used to think I was so almost very zealous. I'm super zealous about working out. And this is why, family. I'm zealous about working out because I find that to be one of my strongest meditative states. I find myself in a flow. I find things coming to me when I am most challenged and I'm most driven and I'm most like on the brink of like exhaustion. That's when the messages start coming to me, right? So when I don't work out, I start to feel like I'm missing out on some cues, some life cues. So I'm like, all right, well, let me get these squats in and let me get these let me get these jumping jacks in to kind of rev up my energy so that I can receive and open my vessel up to what has to be expressed and said. So I love that Michelle put that in the comments there. Being consistent with your meditation, being consistent with it is so important. Starting a day with gratitude. Okay, so Terry, going back to that initial question, or our last question, I'm sorry. Terry says, my family, my staff, my neighbors. So this is how you're leading, right? Kathy, cool. Niara, Shawnee says, the same thing happens with me when I work out. Something about the heat in my body activates my spiritual gifts. Oh, that is amazing, Shawnee. Amazing that you say, like, I got chills when you said that, because there have been times and moments where I'm at the gym, and this is like pre-COVID, but at the gym, and I'm like, either I'm on a treadmill or I'm doing something, and it is like surging up my temperature, and it almost feels like there's no one else in the room. Like there's like a hub or a ring light of like an orb over me where I'm just receiving all of these different messages of in different areas of my life, like where I have to like show up more, or what I have to do next. And a lot of times when people pray, we're praying or we're meditating towards like, okay, God, or, universe, what are my next steps? Guide me in my next steps. Sometimes when I say it verbally like that, I can't, it's not easily received for me. But when I go to sleep at night, my dreams and exercising always does it. The answer just comes right away. So it's so interesting, Shawnee, that you say that. And it's powerful, it's cool. So I want to kind of redirect the energy towards where we show up in our leadership. So some of us said we're in school, we're nurse practitioners, we're parents, right? And so the reason why I asked this question is because if we're showing up in these leadership roles, but we have our mask on, so just kind of going back to also part one, if we have a mask of perfection, or we have a mask of fear, or a mask of inadequacy, a mask of fear, and all of these different things that we have, it automatically begins to present itself in the people in our lives that we most care about as well, and that have that direct influence over how we are showing up in our lives, right? So it's so important that in these leadership roles that we not only become aware, because it's not about being perfect. We already said that being perfect has this way of like morphing and feeling like we can't make mistakes. It's not about not being able to make mistakes, but it's about being aware of where we stand within our own mask, so that we're aware of it and that we don't impose it on someone else. In that process of healing, I've read something recently that I thought was really, really powerful, and it said that healing is an ongoing journey. Healing is something that we continue to do constantly throughout the day. So whether you're a leader in your, in your household, or whether you're a leader in your workplace, I think there has to be a recognition that healing and the process of learning ourselves is a constant journey. And I think that is one of the most powerful things we can offer up to the people in our lives that are looking to us as an example, is that we are constantly learning. We are constantly evolving. We are constantly in the process of learning ourselves more and more each and every day. And so Nadine says she's a leader in parenting, moving, affirmations with self, children. Bernadine says, I'm in leadership in my business as an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur as well, Bernadine. So I totally understand. I actually want you to unmute yourself. If you're able to, Bernadine, can you unmute and just share what it is that you do and how you're showing up for yourself and the people in your, and within your entrepreneurship journey? If Bernadine is able to unmute. If not, that's also okay. I'll give you a moment. Okay, so Kathy says healing happens in layers, so we continually work on the same issues on deeper levels throughout our lives. Absolutely. And as a leader, I think it's also important to recognize that journey is a lifelong process, as you explained. Charmaine, okay, so from Facebook, Kathleen, I lead in community and my work on an executive board. Amazing. I'm in leadership in my church. Really, really powerful. Really, really great stuff. Okay, so we can go to the next slide. Okay, so now that so before we get into some leadership hacks and some things that really help our leadership, I first want to kind of tackle, and I'm so happy that we're almost at the 8 minute mark here. Sorry, 8 o'clock mark. But we'll be able to get this activity done. So this is going to be fun. Habits that dim our leadership abilities. Let's talk about it. Okay, saying disclaimers. Okay, so I'm going to read them first and then we're going to open it up. Saying disclaimers. Dumbing yourself down in circumstances, apologizing for asking questions in learning environments. I am a complete person that does this all the time. The whole apologizing for asking questions is like not a great experience to do, especially if you're trying to learn and if you're in an establishment. Living in the past. Okay, so I first want to kind of tackle disclaimers. I want to give you some examples. So something that I used to do when I would lead up calls or lead up a workshop or a dance workshop, no matter what it was, if I start leading and I say something like, oh, by the way, this choreography was just made 5 minutes ago. So if it looks a little weird, don't don't worry. That's a disclaimer. And it takes, not only does it take your power away, but it also takes your confidence away in that moment. And if it takes your confidence away, what do you think it does for the students that's in your room that's learning from you? It's like, oh, I guess I don't need to take this choreography seriously because I mean, she clearly didn't, right? So it's one of these things that I find to be so interesting. These disclaimers. Is there anyone that wants to unmute and kind of share their experience with any of these dimming leadership things? And then we can kind of, just piggyback off of one another and share.
Yes. How about this? This is mother-in-law. Excuse me. How about this? When I share something, I'll say is how do I, in my understanding, such and such and this and that. Is that a disclaimer?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay.
Are you saying like if someone shared something with you and you just want to repeat back your understanding of it?
Not that. When I'm seeing something and I want to comment on it, and maybe we're in conversation around it. I said, well, in my understanding or my belief or what I've been taught was so and so and so and so. And sometimes it's a little controversial because a lot of people don't understand spiritual teachings. And the concept is foreign to a lot of people, but I do want to say something. So I'll put it out there so that there's not a whole lot of, well, I don't know what you're talking about, and started a big disagreement. I'll just put it out there. That's my understanding.
So I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
say no. I'm going to have, excuse me, I'm going to have other people chime in on this too. But I'm going to say no. That's not a disclaimer. A disclaimer is anything that takes away from either a product, it could be a product, a service, a statement that you're going to say that you fully confidently walked into until you pull back and said, so I'm going to give another example. It's kind of like let's say you worked on an amazing project that you're super, super excited about, you're happy about it, and you're going to present it to your family. And maybe it's something that you're going to present. It's a special, you worked so hard for it. It's, you put in the blood, the sweat, the tears, you put in everything on it. And then all of a sudden, when we're ready to see it, they're like, okay, Amal, let's see what you got. We're so excited for you. And then you stand up there and you say, well, first off, I first want to say that I didn't really have a lot of time to work on this. Or you say something like, it didn't really come out the color that I wanted it to come out. You just completely dimmed your power. You took it away, and then you disclaimed it.
Yeah, I've done a lot of that too.
As powerfully as your own. This is what I did. This is what I brought to the surface today, and I'm walking proudly in it.
Yeah.
This is my project, and I'm so happy to share it with you.
Yeah.
Does everyone understand where that comes from? Does anyone else have another? Does that?
I
do. You
do.
feel complete with that?
Well, I understand it because I've done that too. I make jewelry, and I look at something, and I find the imperfection in it. So I got that. I got that. Thank you.
Amazing. And I would love to see your jewelry. So I would love to connect, and I want to see it. I want to see how beautiful it is and how you're claiming that jewelry on today and all 2021. Okay. So
sometimes
I don't. This is Teresa.
Sorry.
Oh, Teresa, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, sometimes I don't speak up for myself when I'm supposed to. I know that I am, but sometimes I'm doing a lot better now. Sometimes I say too much. I'm like, okay, Teresa, watch your lips. But there's been times when I would just not speak up for myself, and it would bother me a lot of times. And when I was overeating, I would just come home and just eat myself to death, like almost eat myself to death, because I knew that I was supposed to speak up, but I didn't have the confidence in myself. I mean, thank God I'm not doing that now, but there have been times when I would just eat myself crazy because I did not speak up for myself. And that was horrible because I was hurting myself. It's like I knew I should have spoken up, but I was so into like worrying about what other people think. So, and I have arrived, and it just feels wonderful to even say that I'm not doing that anymore. It's like I'm almost in tears because I would eat sometime until I was throwing up. That's just how bad that I wanted to speak. But I would eat sometime and I would be throwing up and then I would still start eating again. So to be from that place of low vibration and disaster just feels really wonderful. So like based on what Kathy says, the healing comes in layers. So that's one of the layers that I've been able to shed off of overeating because not speaking up for myself. And
Teresa, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. It connects me to, I congratulate you for that process and for that journey because I know it was not an easy one. I know that it was not an easy road. There are so many people that are still experiencing that. And what I gather from your share is that there was a void. There was a void that felt like it needed to be filled. And because of that, we turn to things like food, or for some people it's sex, or for some people it's, the ability to um, procrastinate and put their energy somewhere else when they know it needs to be in that, like, why am I not speaking up? Why am I not, using my voice and saying what needs to be said? So I'm just really grateful that you shared that and that you shared where you are within that process, which is huge. There's a void definitely that needs to be filled when it comes to emotionally eating. And I think the first step of it, like you said, is to just present it out into the world and say, this is where I was. And because of this understanding, this is where I am now. And that's how I was able to bring myself to this new level of understanding in myself. And that's leadership. You're leading us today. So I congratulate you. I do. I really congratulate you for sharing. I'm just going to
So
acknowledge that it is 8 o'clock and it's 8:03, and I want to acknowledge the people that have been here with us today during this presentation. I thank you so much for coming on, and I look forward to connecting with you all very, very soon, and have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. Someone else wanted to share.
Yes, Niamo, we have a raised hand. Louise has her hand raised. So would you like for her to come on?
Sure, yes.
Share?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for this. I know for me, because when I was younger, my father used to tell me all the time, "Oh, you're a child, you know nothing." Um, that damaged my self-esteem for a while. So for me, what I've constantly been working on even to now is if I see someone as an authority figure on something, like a facilitator who is well known for something, um, even if I have to come in and share or correct something, you know, I had this idea of that I need to come from a place of I'm lower than them, that I'm not on the same level with them. And it has, it's something I'm constantly working on to like say like, okay, you know certain things, that you are comfortable with certain things, and just be authentically you, honor yourself and for the knowledge that you have, and come to it. You don't have to come to it like, okay, I'm below you, I'm nothing and you're everything. So it's I realize where it stems from. And even at 49 years of age, is every day I have to be mindful that I'm not doing that, and that, it's work. But I'm thankful for like the Wake Up Everybody community and the facilitators here, which I've learned a lot from. And, just every day I work harder on being confident within myself. And to that I can be able to speak from a place of knowledge. And even if I'm not all the way correct, that's okay. At least I've come out and share, and I'm not below anyone else just because they may have more knowledge in a certain area. So that's something I continue to work on. And I'm making sure I'm not going to do that disclaimer, because I've done that before as well. Like, oh, I'm not perfect on this, or I'm not an expert on this, but so you or lower yourself even before you get there. So for me, that's something I'm continually working on. And thank you for allowing me to share. I'm complete.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just to kind of connect in what you were saying, there have been spaces even with myself, being I'm 31 years old. And when I talk about these topics and when I show up in spaces that whether it's, people that are a little older than I am or much older than I am, it comes off kind of like, oh, well, who does she think she is? She telling me about this and that. And, it's finding that balance between understanding who I am, but also understanding and respecting the fact that there are elders within the community and there are people that do also know uh, through experience much more than I do as well, but also understanding and connecting that balance of like, I understand where I stand in the space too, and that I also have something to offer up and share and to be a part of this conversation. So I'm very, very thankful that you shared that. Something else that I wanted to also share is that, and then I'm just going to go to the chat. Something that I also offer up to a lot of people that also have issues with perfectionism and wanting to do everything right, because that's also like something that dims down your light when it comes to leadership, is just trying to be perfect. I offer up, you do it sloppy. That's how I feel. Do it sloppy, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that. There are people like, if you are familiar with the name Jeff Bezos, he is the owner of Amazon. I cannot explain to you how many times Amazon has messed up on orders, how many times, when he, in his first year, how sloppy and how, he kind of had to get things together. His community of, employees wasn't as massive and as big, but what did he do? He received criticism and critique from certain people, constructive criticism, and he said, all right, wipe my hands clean. We're going to go back in there. We're going to fix this. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. And it's a multi-billion-dollar company. So what I'm offering up to everybody on this call today is, if you got a dream, if you got a vision, if you got something you need to do in your life that you feel like you've just been holding back and you haven't been able to do it, get out of that perfectionism, get out of that fear, and do it sloppy. And what I mean is, if you got a vision, you have enough already. That's all it takes. Have that vision. Get yourself aligned with somebody that's going to hold you accountable to what you say you're going to do, and be open to that constructive criticism. That's it. Be open. And don't lose sight of what you have, because you have something powerful and beautiful. As leaders, we have something powerful and beautiful. Whether you're a leader in your children's lives, in the workplace, as an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur as well. You have something valuable. And too many times we dim our light by feeling like we don't have what it takes yet, or we don't have enough yet. I'm here to tell you, you have it and then some. You're overflowing with it. Honestly, it's pouring out of you. Right. And now it needs to pour out and stick on some other people so that you can continue to shed light and love in your process. So let me just.
Before you do that, I'd like to just jump in and apologize because I mispronounced your name. And so some folks in our community pointed it out to me. So I apologize. You are Niara and not Niamo, which is what I called you before. And then
Yamo's cute too. No.
And you are cute, and just full of wisdom. So, and I also wanted to share that we have a hand raised, so you can let us know what direction you want to go in, because it is 8:10, and I'm not sure how much more you have or where you are in your material. So you let us know how you would like to move forward.
Let's do the raised hand. I know Kathy is going to have something amazing to share. So let's set it on fire.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's, I feel all like loved and warm, but oh my God. I just wanted to make a quick comment. Maybe not quick. I don't know. Anyway, but I wanted to say something. You asked where we show up as leaders. And the thing that came to my mind, and the thing that I've been thinking about lately, is that this is not just a community of, I'm going to say, normal people. This is a community of such powerful light workers and healers that it blows me away sometimes. No one comes to this community and just like doesn't know anything. everyone in this community is like, oh yeah, yeah, I do that. Like I know that. Like I see this, I do this. And I just want to let you know that simply by waking up and being anywhere, each and every one of us, and I'm going to claim me too, is a leader. And I can almost guarantee that there are people throughout your day, throughout your life, that come up to you, that approach you for whatever reason, because they're attracted to our energy, because they know whatever they know. I don't know, but whatever your gift is, they know. And I know each and every one of you. I've heard your stories. I've been in your presence. I've been in your energy. I just want to let you know that each and every one of you has that, and everyone in this room, in this community. And I'm grateful to be in this community. Thank you.
And we're so grateful for you, Kathy. So grateful for you. And to that point, just to connect what Kathy was saying, everyone here is a leader. You may not know it, you may not see it, you may not even believe it, but you are. You are a leader, whether that's showing up for yourself, showing up in the world, showing up for somebody that may not even be able to return the favor. You are a leader. Going into a stranger's, life and offering up, food for them, shelter for them, money for them. You're showing up somewhere in some way, in some capacity. And what's amazing and what's beautiful is that you can do this every single day consciously. Say, how am I going to lead today with love? How am I going to lead with gratitude? How am I going to lead with peace? And it's so interesting. Something else that really resonated with me with what Kathy was saying is that a lot of times, if you don't know your special abilities, or if you don't know your leadership role or your qualities, or what makes you you and what makes you special and makes you so gifted and so loved, is asking somebody you love and trust and saying, hey, what do you like most about me? And what do you think is what's my superpower? What do you think my superpower is? And you'd be so surprised by what they'll say back to you. Will say, Amal, I really, really love that you're such a great listener. I can come to you for anything. Or, Stacy, I love that you always smile in the midst of your troubles. You make me smile when I have a problem, because it just reminds me that it's not over yet. I'm still here, and I can complete something. I can do something, right, with my situation. So going to a loved one is so important. Somebody that you trust, that is just going to give it to you. Right. And for some of us that, I'm a big Instagram social media head, because a lot of I love doing this, because I feel that it's me walking in my superpower. I love connecting with people and sharing with people. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on all, because I love connecting. And a lot of times, to my point, what I'm bringing is that I feel that I'm a leader in that space, because when I see some of the comments under my Instagram posts and under my Facebook posts and stuff, oh, this was so powerful. This was so, momentous. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for this. Thanks for that. So I know if I go a few days without communicating with that community and with that space, I'm now missing out on opportunities to engage and really connect and communicate with my tribe, in a sense, people that I've found all over the world, whether it's Alaska, Timbuktu, Texas. Like I love that I'm able to just share and bounce back with people, where I'm finding other healers and other people in spaces. So don't sleep on social media at all either, because you can connect with so many people as we are now. So we can, with that in mind, let's move on to the next slide. And we'll have time for this. Absolutely. So right now, what I want you to do is, based on those 4 components that we had or more. So anything that has dimmed your light in your life, what I want us to do right now, we're just going to take like 5 minutes or so. Yeah, well, I'll put my timer on. We're going to take 5 minutes, and I want you to write, this is another hack. I want you to write a letter to yourself, whether this is something you've already overcome or something that you're still in the process of overcoming. You're going to affirm that you're going to overcome this. So what if Teresa's example was like, her not speaking up for herself, right? So writing a letter to yourself saying, dear Teresa, or how you would speak to yourself, dear Queen, dear Sister Teresa, I know in the past, you know, at the age of, the more descriptive you are, the better it is, but it's okay if you're not. I know at this age, I didn't, you know, I used to not speak up for myself. I've realized that doing this has caused this in my life. And what I've come to find is that this is no longer serving me. And because it's not serving me, I'm not able to really bring out into the world what it is that I want to do. So from now on, I will do this, or I am doing this. And then sign, seal, deliver that bad boy. And allow yourself to make peace with whatever it is that is holding you back from your success and from being a better leader to yourself and to others. So we'll just take a moment here. And then while we're doing that, I'm going to review some of the comments and stuff that I might have missed so that everyone has some space and time to just write. I see everyone saying thank you. And I just want to offer up and say that I'm so in gratitude. I'm so thankful for this space, and I'm so thankful for everybody that's just taking the time to just be a part of this conversation today, because it's taken me years to get to this space of understanding just where I'm at as a leader. I understand that every day I have to learn more and more about myself, and I have to be fearless of learning more about myself, because sometimes you learn things about yourself and it ain't always pretty. Right? It's not always pretty. It's something that you really got to address. And something that I like to tell people is that if it were easy, everyone would be doing it. Everyone will be doing it, right? So it's not easy. Okay, so someone says I missed the slides, but we'll do my best. So let me just actually bring it up here. So what it was if we can, if admin, if we can just put that slide up, I think it's like 2 slides before, so that everyone can see it. Oh, it's right here. It's the habits. I'm sorry, it was the slide before you right here. So habits that dim our leadership abilities. So saying disclaimers, dumbing yourself down in circumstances, apologizing for asking questions, in learning environments, living in the past. So you can take any one of those and you can start writing your letter. We have about 2 more minutes here. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can also be something that you come back to. Maybe the letter is never really complete. I mean, well, let me rephrase that. You do want to complete it so that you can move. Eventually, you want to be able to complete it so that you can move into another space of opening yourself up to opposite of that and enhancing your leadership. So while I give everyone 2 more minutes, I'm going to read the Facebook one. From Facebook, Michelle, it's so true. At times I feel I have something that has to burst out of me, and then I go into a thought that I'm not ready or know enough, don't even know how or where to start. Start with your vision. Start with the ability to understand that you have something. And then once you have a vision, Michelle, you want to get that down on paper. You want to get it down on paper so that it makes sense to you. And if someone asks you, okay, what is it that you want to do? You have something really legible and understanding, and it makes sense to someone that Michelle, I don't necessarily know what your ideas are. We are on Facebook and, we're on Zoom, but I also recommend that you just also get a small timeline going for yourself. Like if you have a goal, what I like to do is I split up my goals in quarters. So the first quarter of the year, in order for this goal to manifest, what is it that I have to do? And what is it that I have to complete in the first 3 months in order to see this goal into fruition, right? And you take it piece by piece. The saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, or, you can't get, this big goal complete, or this big rock. This is this is something that my holistic health educator taught me about, is like, sometimes we look at life's big rocks and we get really, really overwhelmed with it. Like, this is a big rock. I'm in debt, $1 million, and this is a big old rock. Okay, but how can I start to really tackle those little rocks first? And that's going to chip away bit by bit at those things that I have to really do. And when you start to look at the little rocks, the big rocks don't seem so crazy anymore. Okay, Amal says there's program in Landmark where you do interviews asking questions like, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What can I be counted on for? It is very enlightening. Yes, it's absolutely. I've definitely experienced some Landmark trainings as well too, and they're powerful. They're so powerful. They're so powerful. Stacy says, I do see where I've done all. I will write this letter when I come back. I got to move the car. Oh, yes. Thank you. To learn more. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Okay. So we're going to move right along. Is there someone that wants to share their letter? We have time for one person. And then there's one more activity that I want to squeeze in there. And then I think we'll end just on time. If there isn't anyone that wants to share their letter, that's also okay. But I do want to make space for anyone. Okay, no? All right, here we go. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, so we can move on to the next slide.
Okay, one moment while I'm multitasking. I just put something in for Stacy.
Oh, okay, no problem. And thank you so much, everyone, for your love offerings. This is also a love offering to me too. Hug me. Virtual hugs are also amazing and received. Okay, so, oh, I love this. Okay, so let's see if we can speed through this. Okay, so leadership hack. Do more of the things that uplift your confidence. A lot of times when we want to learn a new language or we want to, you know, start working out, but we never worked out a day in our lives, or we want to, you know, learn a new skill set. A lot of times it can really dim our confidence at first, right? Because maybe you're a professional ice skater, but now you're in a world of like, oh, I got to learn how to like do botany, and you don't know anything about plants. You don't know the first thing about plants. And so what happens is that you walk into this new skill, or maybe it's karate, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm busting my butt. I'm falling everywhere. I'm tripping over my own feet, you know, and then you start to dim your confidence. So what I like to do is that if I'm learning a new skill, I tell myself, okay, if I'm learning this skill on Monday, I got to make sure that on Tuesday, I'm dancing, I'm singing, I'm doing something that, because I want to keep my frequency up, so that it's just not this thing of where I'm just learning this new skill and it is bringing my confidence down and it's bringing my stuff down, right? So what are some activities that you do that stretch your confidence and capacity to believe in yourself? And when you guys come to that understanding and that activity or that skill, I want someone on the call. I'm calling y'all out. I want someone on the call to share it, to share that skill, like literally with us. So if you like to sing and that boosts your confidence, I want you to sing for us on the call, so that we're uplifted and that your confidence is uplifted immediately in the moment. So if there's anyone that wants to share, and let me just make it a point that you can share your activity and you don't necessarily have to do it right now if you don't feel to do it. But if you do feel to do it, then do it.
I love you. I love you. I love you so much today. My family, I just want to tell you that I love you. I love you.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. Thank you.
I can tell a little story. I was in, this is Amal. I was in Turkey, I think it was. And I was traveling with a small group of people. And there was this older woman, Faith was her name, excuse me. And we wanted to climb to the monastery in this one country, excuse me. And it was just little itty bitty stairs and it was so high. And Faith got up one morning and climbed the mountain before daybreak. I mean, to watch the sunset, and it came back down there. You know, Faith did that. I said, well, if Faith can do it, I can do it. And so that has been my lament. If Faith can do it, I can do it. In anything that I have to do that is challenging. If Faith can do it, I can do it.
Amazing. I love that. I love that. And the fact that it makes you laugh and smile so big, Amal, is already like such a confidence booster. That is a story you probably want to tell yourself every day. Every day.
That's my lament. If Faith can do it, I can do it.
Absolutely. Ashe, absolutely. Okay, so it is 8:25. So what I want us to do, our last movement activities, we're gonna do a confidence booster all together. So if you can turn off your video, we're just gonna do one. And so what I like to do is I place my hands behind my neck or, near your ear, and I'm gonna open up. And this automatically, this posture, this position here, we take a deep breath in and we exhale and deep breath in. And then we exhale. Last time, deep breath in. And then we exhale. And what I slowly want you to start to do is I'm just going to twist my spine from right to left just a few times. So what I like to do this either before I'm about to go on stage, before I present, before I, have to show up, before I really got to get my confidence together and boosted. And then you can stop the twist. And then I'm going to expand my chest even more, open and out. Deep breath in, close in, round out the back. Allow the elbows to touch if you can. And then elbows out and in. 2 more times, elbows out and in, and elbows out and in. Anything that allows you to open up your chest and push your shoulders down is saying, I am confident, I'm ready, and I'm willing. It is very hard to put your face down if your chest is out, shoulders are down and back, because that automatically wakes me up and it lets me know that I'm ready to present and be prepared and ready. So with that, family, I think we can move on to the next slide, or the last slide rather. So that is just one confidence hack. There's so many confidence postures that we can do. That is my presentation for today. That is my offering to you all today. And what I do also want to offer up is that right now, I usually teach a lot of workshops and, different events where we can get really interactive and engaging with one another. However, I'm leading up a 30-day fitness challenge right now. We are in day 18 and it's just been taking me, I'm fully immersed in that right now, family, right? But I want to make sure that I stay in touch with you all. I have my information that'll be in the following slides. But right now I am offering my book, Mask Off: How to Lead by Example Without Perfection. That includes so many different success hacks, life hacks, stories from where I've slipped and fallen in my life, fell on 2 feet, and I had to get back up and still step into my leadership. So this book can be purchased on my website. I have the direct link there, and it's actually 15% off until Sunday. So it's usually $15, but you can get it on my site for $12.75. And my personal website is www.niaraarmyfit.com. And yes, that is my offering for today, you all. I hope I was able to inspire and to uplift in any way that I could on today. And I look forward to connecting and continuing our relationship together. Thank you so much. So my contact information is my phone number that is also there. You can also contact me through my Facebook. I'm pretty active on all social media sites. Darlene Niara is my personal account. I post a lot more there. So you probably want to follow Darlene Niara. And I also have Health Coach Niara on Instagram. And my email, healthcoachniara@gmail.com, and my website, niaraarmyfit.com. So what I love about the Wake Up community is that we have our love offerings and donations. I think what we offer in this space as healers and practitioners and people that are just really pouring out into the world, into the community, walking into their power, walking into their superpower. It means a lot when we can receive these love offerings to continue to pour into the community the way that we do. So you can do that through Zelle or QuickPay at SOWleadershipdevelopment@gmail.com, and the Cash App is $Spirit of a Woman. The code is #250DNA. And be sure to join us on January 31st, 2021 via Zoom streaming to Facebook for a blueprint for your vision, facilitated by Amelia Blake. I know it's going to be exciting and very, very powerful. So I look forward to seeing you there on as well. I'll be on for that Zoom call as well. And just to remind everybody, the Wake Up Everybody schedule, our Zoom live workshops happen Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and Monday and Wednesday, 7 to 7:30 a.m. And Zoom live workshops, and we stream live on Facebook.
Thank you, Niara. I could take this slide for you. So we want to thank everybody for joining us in Wake Up Everybody. And today's session was amazing. Let people know to come back into this or come into this space, and you want to also register yourself every week by registering here. It's bit.ly/wake up movement. And we also have a Facebook page where you can catch the replay and also interact with your community as they share what's going on in their lives. And that is the bit.ly/WUE community. We have an Instagram, we have a YouTube, and we also have email as other ways for you to stay in touch. info.wakeupseries@gmail is our email. So you can screenshot this. And last but not least, today is Thursday. Thursday means that you have a chance to stay behind and talk to Kathy and her team about volunteering. What does it mean to volunteer for Wake Up Everybody? We have many roles. You see us, the admin on Zoom. There's admin that set up the slides that allow you to get a little bit more information about the presenter. And there's a whole bunch of other scenes, other roles behind the scene. So we are asking you to stay behind so that you can get more information. And with that, I'm going to stop the slide, and then the admin can get turn gallery view, and let's do love shower for Niara. And
Niara, you blow me away. This is your second time, and I am blown away by the self-possession that you have, by your knowledge, by
Thank you, Niara.
you're so
Thank you,
awesome.
Niara.
Oh my
That
God.
was so
You
precious.
are
Thanks, Queen, for doing what you're doing.
Let me see your
Woman,
Thank you.
what
let's
you're
move
doing.
forward, everybody.
Having such
You really
confidence.
are.
You
You
are
know
just
your stuff.
absolutely
Everyone have a
beautiful.
great
Thank you.
weekend. Thank you
That
for
was
being in this
beautiful.
Thank you
community.
for sharing
Thank
your
you.
Awesome.
Comfortable
knowledge
to
with
it.
us.
You know,
Thank you,
And
thank you,
I
thank
am. You are
you.
such
Great,
all the best.
a
All the
big
awesome. Thank
best.
addition
you.
to this
Awesome.
community. You
Thank you for
just
your love and light. Thank
Thanks, Queen,
really
for doing what
bring
you're
You.
all
doing.
of
Thank
yourself,
Let's
you,
move
and
forward,
thank
I
you.
everybody.
I
Love y'all.
truly appreciate
Thank
Looking
you.
you.
forward to you
You are
coming
all
back
Truly
powerful.
to
appreciate
my
your
exercises
presence
I
in
and
love
this
stuff.
y'all all.
Thank
community.
Thank
you
you
so
for
much.
thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
You
much.
are
much.
you are a
Y'all
leader
rock,
for real.
y'all rock,
Thank you for
y'all
letting us
rock.
all
Oh
know
yes, you
that
do.
and starting
Y'all
this
rock.
Love
conversation
and light.
Thank you,
of not
beautiful
having to
Stacy. I
be
love you.
Love.
perfect
Thank
and
you.
Love y'all.
showing up
Let's
as
move
who
forward,
you are,
Love
everybody.
because
you.
that's what we
Niger.
do.
Thank you.
Showing up.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
hey,
you,
Mama,
admin
Lucy,
team.
everyone in
Thank
the
you,
smile.
Wake Up
audience.
Everybody
Salute,
community.
salute. I
Thank you,
love
Teresa
y'all.
and
Oh my
Teresa's
God,
Afro.
showing up
I
as
love
you are.
Yes.
y'all.
Thank
I love
you.
I
everybody.
love
Thank you.
y'all.
I
I
love
love
you too,
y'all.
Adam. I
Thank
love
you,
this
Thank you,
whole
Kathy.
Sister
community.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Charmaine,
Nigel.
much.
Sister
And
Kiyoko. I
All right.
love
wonderful.
y'all.
All
Thank
of
All
you.
you.
Thank
right.
you.
I
Thank
love
you,
you all.
everybody.
Everybody have an awesome
And I love
day.
you,
My
Cole.
peoples,
I
my
know you can hear me.
tribe,
I
Namaste.
my
love you. Everyone
woo.
say that you love my
Yeah.
nephew, Cole. Tell
We
him.
love Paul.
We
Who's
love you, nephew
nephew?
Paul.
Love you,
Cole. Yes.
nephew.
Yes.
Oh,
Love you,
love you,
nephew
Paul.
Paul.
Thank you for showing up, nephew.
Yeah, have a great day, everyone. Bye
Have a
bye.
beautiful day, everybody. If anyone wants to volunteer or have a conversation, stay afterwards with me. The admins are going to sign off, but I'll be here to have that conversation.
Okay.
And Teresa,
Love
Teresa's
y'all,
here.
Hi, good morning.
Hey,
baby.
Have the
Let me tell you something.
what'd
Every
you say,
time I try
Kenyofu?
to get on,
have the link.
Kathy,
I didn't hear that.
Do you have the link or do you need it?
I have it. I have it today. Thank you.
Kathy, every time I try to get off, the spirit said, "No, you're not getting off." So I was like, "Okay."
Look at that. Look at that, Teresa.
I was like, "I'm not doing this today." The spirit said, "Yes, you are." I was like, "Okay, you still on here."
Oh
I
my
told
God.
myself,
All right. Have a good one, everybody
"You
that's
don't
not
do this."
staying. Thank you so much.
Charmaine,
Legal.
recording?
Kathy,
Does it matter?
press the stop record button because you have host.
Where is that? I don't see it. Oh, recording. Let's see. I can't do that. Whoever
Down at the
pressed that,
bottom, down at the bottom, you'll see record.
I do see it, but I can't do stop record. It's not allowing me to do that. Oh, yes, I can. Yes, I can. I lied.
Yes, you can.
Yes, I can.